All right, guys, continuing on the closing segment, okay? Just a couple things I want to touch on before I move to the next component. Now, the thing, people, when they say they want to think about it, they really don't want to think about it. I mean, it's the money. Really, they don't want to think about it at all. I mean, I had someone the other night that said it wasn't really the money. I said, well, let me ask you, if this were free, would you take it? They said, well, sure I would. But it's the money. A lot of us, I mean, we all have egos, and especially us guys, and we don't want to admit it when we can't pay for something. So, but by me writing down those four things, is it the product? Is it the company? Is it the agent? You know, is it the money? Okay, we all know it's the money. Okay, but I want to eliminate the others. But I purposefully take a sheet of paper and I write down the product. Okay, and then I highlight the product, the living benefits, etc. Is it the company? Okay, and I tell them about the company and the background of the company and the financial stability of the company. Is it the agent? If it is, I'll send somebody else. And then finally ask, pause for a second and go, Betsy, is it the money? Because we know it's the money. But see, by us visually seeing that you've eliminated, there really is nothing to think about. Okay? Because we've already done the thinking for them. They want solutions. They don't want something else to think about. Okay? So, and then we do what's called the reduction to the ridiculous. We help them find the money. You know, I recommend to guys always carry $1 or $2 in change in your pocket. Just taking the change out of your pocket. And ladies, whatever the equivalent would be for you, you know, in doing that. Some of you might think it's corny, but guess what? It works. So if several $100,000 in premium is corny, then so be it. Okay? What did Forrest Gump say? Stupid is as stupid does. So now I want to transition over to where it really is the money. So when I ask Betsy, which of these three would you lean towards to start the qualification process? All your money back, half your money back, or no money back?
You know what, Jeff? We just can't, we're not in a place where we can do this right now. I just can't afford that, any of them.
Okay. You know, I understand how you feel. A lot of our clients, they felt the same way. I mean, could I share with you what we found out for them?
Sure.
So if it weren't for the money, do you feel good with everything you've seen tonight?
Absolutely.
Okay. So if we were able to offer you an option that cost less but had the same features, how does that sound?
A little too good to be true, but it sounds good.
Okay. Because we look at like our goal is at least help you get your foot in the door. As one of my partners says, you know, half a loaf is better than no loaf at all. I mean, if you have half a loaf of bread in the refrigerator, you're probably not going to throw it away.
Sure.
To get a new one. Okay. So I would we look at an alternative. We call this a plan B, another option, if you will. Okay.
Okay.
So, and what that option would be, and guys, let me preface this with a minute. I utilized this last night. It was responsible for generating a significant amount of premium for me. So you'll see this. Okay. And what this option would be, Bets, is that we would look at an option to where you would utilize a term strategy. Okay. For a specific term. Now, how long is your mortgage?
30 years.
Okay, 30 years. So really your main concern is to make sure that if anything happens to you, be it death, or if you did have a critical or chronic illness, heart attack, stroke, cancer, etc., that you have those living benefits available, but specifically for that next 30 years until that mortgage is paid off. Is that accurate?
Yes.
So with that being said, we could look at an option where we would utilize a term product. And what I mean by that is that term would be good for 30 years.
Okay.
Okay, now after that 30 years, all bets are off, so to speak. But the beauty of this, Bets, is that you can get your foot in the door, so to speak, with the term product. So we've got something that would be a lot more palatable for your budget, okay, as far as because the rate's going to be significantly less. And there's a conversion feature in your policy where years down the road, if your finances are better, you've got an option to convert this to a permanent policy that you could have for the rest of your life. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does. Okay,
now this feature, the death benefit's still $417,000. You've still got the living benefits if you ever have a critical or chronic illness. The only difference is you're going to be paying a lot less in premium.
Okay.
Okay, so let me show you what we've done here. I've got a 15, a 20, or a 30-year option, and you can see those monthly premiums. So you can see that it's 50 to 60% less than a permanent policy. Now you know that this is not a permanent policy. It's going to go for a certain term.
Right.
You know, but you do have the ability to convert that to a permanent policy, down the future if you choose to. Of course, rates could be a little bit different because you'll be older, because your attained age would be factored into it, okay?
Okay.
But first things first, just so we could get your foot in the door.
Yeah.
So you've got some peace of mind, and I'm sure we both agree you can't put a price on peace of mind, can we?
No, you can't.
Which of these three do you want to go with? 15, 20, or 30 years so you can get coverage in place for your family and make sure they're protected?
Well, even though our mortgage is 30 years, I would feel comfortable with the 20-year because I just want to make sure that my kids, if something were to happen to either one of us, that, the house would be covered and taken care of while they were up until they were done with college.
Okay. All right, great. So we'll go with the 20-year option. If you'll go grab your driver's license, also I need a list of any meds and your doctor's contact information, and we can get started with a qualification process. And then you and your spouse will be each other's beneficiaries, correct?
That's correct.
All right. Okay, great. You can keep going. Just one or two quick points, guys, on that. Okay, number one, up front we talk about term versus permanent. Okay, term isn't necessarily bad. It is what it is. It's for a certain term. But guess what? Your objective, if that family has a need for coverage that you've identified through doing our Blueprint for Life and our needs analysis, you have a moral and professional responsibility to get coverage for them. If you walk out of that house without a check and you walk out empty-handed, you've done a disservice to them, you've done a disservice to you, and you've done a disservice to your family. It's your responsibility to be patient with them, find a way and make it work. We would prefer permanent because permanent is permanent. Say for permanent needs, get permanent insurance. Most people have a 30-year mortgage and 20 years into it end up refinancing it to get equity out of it, and now they have another 30-year mortgage or something. But guess what? Term is a lot better than nothing. Okay, so the transition that we would say is that we have another alternative for you, Betsy, that's got the same features as this plan. It's got the living benefits, the critical, the chronic, the terminal. Okay, the only difference is that the monthly premium is going to be a lot less. It is a term product for a certain term, but at least you get your foot in the door. That's the expression I like to use. You get your foot in the door and you got peace of mind for your family. You can't put a price on peace of mind. Okay, and then I showed three different options: 15, 20, and 30-year term. Or if they're older, maybe it's 10, 15, and 20-year term. And I always still use the living benefits because, guys, that's what separates us from the tens of thousands of other life agents in America. Living benefits. Living benefits. So, by me just adding that piece, to what we were doing yesterday, these are actual cases. Here's a case that I helped a family on. This was a universal life product, $198 per month. This is his wife. Hers was a universal life for $120 per month with living benefits. Okay, but here's 4 applications that I took from just doing that transition to term and having a solid backup plan and presenting it properly, but leading with UL. Okay, this couple, they did a 30-year term. The death benefit was $321,000. Hers is $44.19 per month. His was $120.59. He's a smoker. Okay, all right. So that's about $180 a month in premium right there. Here's another one. This person, their mortgage was $344,000. They did a 15-year term product. It was $298 per month. Okay. Now, if they would have done the UL product, it was $629 per month. We couldn't make that work in his budget. He felt great about this because his absolute main concern was the next 15 years. Okay. So this is not to say, oh, I want to focus more on term. No, don't do that. I mean, you're doing a disservice to the client and you're doing a disservice to yourself. Okay? We lead with permanent coverage. But if we can't make that work for that family financially, okay, as one of these clients last night, we looked at a permanent plan and it just would not fit in their budget. And he said, Jeff, I have to do what the dollar says. And the dollar says he couldn't afford the other one, but he could the term. So I helped that family. They felt good about it. They had significant coverage. They know they can convert the plan down the road because when people move into a new home, sometimes their finances are a little bit disheveled and unstable. So let's get something. Get their foot in the door and they can convert it later. So those are the points that I want to address on today. But always make sure when you lease someone's house, Thank them for their business. I always say, I thank you, my wife thanks you, and my 4 kids thank you. And they do. They just don't know they're doing it, but they do. And you make sure that you write them a thank you card. If you're too busy to take the time to sit down and write someone a thank you card, then you shouldn't be in the business. And the thank you card is real simple. I'd say, Mr. and Miss Hawkins, it was a pleasure meeting with you last night. Mr. Hawkins, congratulations to you on the career that you've achieved. He was a coach. He's a coach for the Army, for the shooting team. He trains Olympic athletes that are in the Army. That's what he does. But congratulations on your career. You and your wife had a beautiful home. It's a pleasure to meet and be of service to nice people like the two of you. If you should need or want assistance in the meantime, please don't hesitate to give me a call. I will call you as soon as your policy is delivered and hand delivered to you. Thank you again. Look forward to seeing you soon. Put something in the card that's heartfelt. It means something. People don't do that anymore. That's the winning edge, that little bit extra that it takes to separate you from everybody else. Keep your clients updated during underwriting. Call them. Let them know. If you know when their paramed exam is done, give them a follow-up call. See how it went. Did they show up on time? Did they do a good job? They appreciate you communicating with them. So with that being said, hope you can take these tools today and use them. But remember, the tool is only good if you use it. We could go to Home Depot and buy the most expensive drill. If you don't use it, it's not going to do you any good. Your objective at the end of the day is that you're in front of 8 to 10 families a week. If you're in front of 8 to 10 families per week, you're going to make a significant income for your family. And if you're not, you're not. So with that being said, no hocus pocus, just focus. And the only place where success comes before work is the dictionary. So I know we'll go get it done and help a lot of families, have a lot of fun, make a lot of money, and lead by example. Thank you.